How do you actually learn a song? I'm going to give you a step-by-step process today that you can adhere to. Hi and welcome to today's video. In case you don't know me yet, my name is Freya and I'm a professional singer and vocal coach from Germany. I've had to learn so many songs over the years and the process is very similar every time. So here are the elements that you actually have to work with as a singer. Number one, there are the lyrics. So the first thing I always look at are the lyrics, especially if you're singing in a language that is not your native language, but even if you are singing in your native language, you have to look at the lyrics separately. So the lyrics are very important. First of all, you want to know what it all means. Sometimes songs are very poetic. It's really hard to kind of understand the meaning. So do that homework before you plug in any singing. That's stuff you can just do ahead of time, and it will make your singing more efficient because when you get to using your registers and phrasing, it's all going to make a lot more sense when you made full sense of the lyrics, what they mean to you, and like, how do you feel about it? So number one is just to really look at the lyrics, read through them, and understand. The second step is enunciation. Of course, your audience wants to understand what you're singing about. It's kind of frustrating when you're listening to a singer and you can't understand really every word that they're singing. So you want to make sure you have appropriate enunciation. So if you're singing a musical theater piece, it's very proper, by the book. It's like the perfect language, like a newscaster. You want to be very proper. Now, if you're singing something more jazzy or an Amy Winehouse song, there are elements that are very specific. Like there are specific things like how to enunciate certain things that make it just more that style. So really pay attention to the enunciation. And of course, if you're singing in a language that's a foreign to you, other than understanding the lyrics still, so if it's an Italian or German or English or Spanish song or French song, I mean, you do want to understand all the lyrics. It makes no sense to sing a song where you have no idea what it's all about. So, but enunciation is the second most important thing. That's why you have words as a singer. Otherwise, somebody could just play an instrumental, right? Or you could just go la la la. But the words are so important, and enunciating in the appropriate way just makes it so much better. And I always do this before singing through the song. I actually speak through it. So when I'm learning an Italian opera aria, I don't just start singing it outright. I always go through and I read the lyrics and I say them out loud. I say them slowly so that my tongue gets used to things. Even if you're singing in your native language, there are sometimes really hard sequences of words that are a little bit of a tongue twister. So it's a good idea to just kind of get that squared away so that when you get to singing, your brain can actually focus on singing. You got everything already a little bit more automatized. The next element that you work with as a singer and as a musician in general is the timing and the rhythm. That is so important. And now you can actually use your lyrics, your good enunciation that you just worked out, and you can actually speak it in rhythm so that you know when is the timing, when are there syncopations, you know, when am I coming down on one, when is there a break, am I doing it right, before trying to worry about registers and transitions and how to phrase. There's so many elements, so if you do one at a time, you're going to be so much better because you're going to be more in depth. Your voice is just going to do a lot of things automatically, and it's all going to make more sense. And I always tell my students, for some songs, it's extremely important to actually use a metronome. There are free metronome apps that you can get on your phone, and use a metronome. It's gonna give you the beat because timing is very subjective. Your perception of time is not objective. So use the metronome. It will give you the beat, and then make sure you're speaking through it and you understand when are you coming in. It's going to make your performance so much more solid in the end when you're accurate versus just kind of guessing when you're coming in. Then, now we can finally actually put in music. You got the timing, you got all the words and the meanings. Now it's about the melody line. That's yours. It belongs to you as a singer. The instruments do something different. They give you the harmonies and the framework, but the melody line belongs to you. So make sure you're accurate. I've studied some songs where I just kind of listened and I thought I did it right. And then when I listened again, after years of performing a song, I noticed like, oh, I've been singing those couple pitches not right. She goes down instead of up. And it's really good to check yourself. And I love actually looking at sheet music sometimes to check, am I actually doing it right? Depending on the song, if it's a more complex song, if there's a lot of short little, quick moving notes, it is still important to get those accurate. If there's any pitch that, if you couldn't tell me what pitch exactly that is, even if it's just a short pickup note, then your accuracy and performance is going to suffer if you don't know. You have to know exactly which pitch you mean. So which one you intend to sing. If you're not sure, it's like, I don't know. Get the sheet music or listen carefully, listen to another cover version and make sure you know every single detail about the melody line, that you are getting it right. And then you can move on to the next element, which is phrasing. So you get the melody, you get the timing, you got the words, you got them sunk in. You're pretty much almost automatic on it because you have actually taken time to work out all of those elements. Now your brain is ready to work on the musical flow of the music. And it's really helpful. Now, if you still have to worry about how do I even speak the words, when am I coming in, and how is the melody going, if you're trying to focus on everything all at once, how are you going to be able to focus on phrasing and the musical flow? When am I leaning into a pitch? When am I lightening up? When is my vibrato supposed to come in? When am I straight? When is there consonance and dissonance and resolution? There's no way you're going to be able to focus on all of those layers all at once. And again, it's going to make your performance in the end so much more accurate when you actually take the time to go through all those steps. The next thing is your registers. Of course, now you know the melody, and as you're working out the melody and the phrasing, you notice like, okay, maybe this is better in chest voice. Where is my break in my voice? Where do I transition? Maybe there is a harsh break between chest voice and falsetto. And that's on purpose, so you have to work that out. Maybe you have kinks and creases in there where it's not really working yet. So work on your registers. Make sure you know what you intend to do. Don't just leave it up to chance, like, okay, maybe I'll make that pitch in chest voice today. Maybe my voice breaks before that. Be intentional. Really think about it. Make notes in your sheet music and tell yourself, okay, this is where I want to transition, right here. And this is how I'm going to do it. This is how I'm going to work it out. And that's how I'm going to practice it. So after you've worked out all those things, so now you're really good. You're looking at your sheet music. You made all these notes, all those elements, you worked out. The next thing is to put away the sheet music and memorize your song. Because as a singer, it looks really bad if you just have this sheet music in front of your face. You want to communicate something. You're talking to someone. You're telling a story. It's like an actor can't look at the script while they're actually acting. You just use that for practice, and then you put it away and you start just telling the story. So give yourself some time to actually memorize. And here's the cool thing. If you've gone through all those steps and you've taken the time to do that, your memorization is going to be a piece of cake because you have done it so much. You've gone through the lyrics and the enunciation. That alone is just going to make everything stick already. So the final thing is to wean yourself off of looking at the sheet music. That is hard sometimes because as long as you're looking at it, your brain just works differently. Put it away. Don't even look at it. And then just sing it over and over again until you absolutely know it by heart. You don't have to think about it anymore. And the last step you really want to do in order to really brush it up, to make it perfect, is to work on your interpretation. It's really like, what does it mean to me? How do I want to bring it across? What does it mean to me? Really connecting to the piece more on an emotional basis. This is a really important step if you want to perform in front of people, or if you want to record in the studio and sound amazing and be authentic and really touch people. If you want to hit home, you have to do this. You can't just step over it. If you sing a song just because it's pretty and all you want to do is like, okay, my goal is just to sound pretty, but it means nothing to you, your audience just can't connect. They can't connect to you. Human beings are very empathic. So we can tell if someone's really feeling what they're talking about or not. And in this case, whatever they're singing about. So, important point. Work out your interpretation. And because you've done all this, you know every part of the lyrics, you know what they mean, they know how relevant they are, what they mean to you. It's very easy for you now to really think about what is the emotion that I'm bringing across here, and to connect to your own emotions while you're singing. And you've memorized it, so it's all a piece of cake now. If you follow those steps, I promise you, your performance is going to be amazing. If you work out all these things and you take your time. Take your time. Don't just brush over things, because it's not going to help to sing a song 50 times and never have thought about these steps in a very intentional way. You're never going to get to this deep level. No matter how many times you just sing through again and again and again, it's always going to stay at this surface level. Try it out and let me know in the comments, does it make any difference at all? If it doesn't, you're not doing it right. It will make the biggest difference. This is the steps I follow, and these are the steps I tell my students to follow, especially when I'm studying any kind of music that's a little bit more complex. This is so rewarding. Thank you so much for watching. If you want to jump deeper into vocal technique, for example, if you want to brush up on your belting, check out my 5-day free belting challenge on my website, masteryourvoice.tv, and lots of other goodies that you can get there. If you have not listened to my podcast, why don't you subscribe to my podcast on Spotify, iTunes, or Google Play? You can listen to my podcast anywhere where you can listen to podcasts. That way you can have me in your ears on the go and just continue getting motivated about becoming an awesome singer. Have a great day. I'll see you next time. Until then, always keep a song in your heart and always keep on singing.